care. As long as the ball goes through the 24-foot 6-inch goalpost that you play on in high school, or the 18-foot 6 goalpost that we play on in National Football League, or the 18-6 in college, I don't care. I truly don't. But what I do care about is kicking the same kick every single time. Every single time, I want the same ball. And if you watch Justin Tucker kick a football, you watch David Akers kick a football, you watch Shane Graham kick a football, you watch 95% of those balls have the same exact rotation, regardless of where it is. And it starts with your starting point and your steps to the ball. So, if I'm back here, I've always been a suggestion where I like to have a jab, because a jab gets a little momentum going forward, instead of starting out of a flat stance. So if you have a slight jab with your left foot, so they always say, well, where should your footwork be? Once again, wherever the kicker's comfortable. But I have found through 30 years of doing this, that you have a kind of a heel to toe ratio where your left heel for a right-footed kicker, and of course I'm only going to coach this from the right-footed side. You can flip it to the left-footed side. So you have a right-footed kicker, and your left toe is here, and your right toe. So you have a heel to toe where your left heel and your right toe are similar. So steps to the ball. I'm a short jab, 1, 2, kick a football. Okay. There are some 3-step guys. I don't like 3-step in the National Football League just because we've got to get that ball off in 1, 3, maybe 1, 2, 8. 3 gets a little long. Okay. All right. Plant. I'm going to say this because this is, to me, the metric of where you must start. And the easiest and simplest way when you're coaching a high school or a college kicker, it's take the side seam of the football and match it up with your ankle bone. Side seam of the football, match it up with the ankle bone. The other night in the championship game, where that young man unfortunately missed the 36-yarder, if you stop it and see, his toe was at the side seam of the football. His toe was there. Plant was really tight, and his toe was there. He missed that football. He missed that kick because of his plant. Because you're saying, well, coach, his swing went all the way left. Well, his swing was left because of a result of where the plant was. So simple. We've got to still remember, when we coach kickers, we need to be as simplistic as possible because we're trying to get that skill repeated over and over and over and over again. No different than when you're playing tennis, golf. You want to repeat the same swing. So, ankle bone in line with the side seam of the football. So yes, you're going to say, well, coach, my guy's more in front of the ball. Off the ground, some guys are. Oh, coach, my guy's a little further back. Off a block, he should be. You know, David Akers loved getting really deep on long field goals so he could drive it a little bit more. So his foot, we take the football and we lean it forward a little bit to open up the sweet spot and bang! Okay? Side seam of foot. Sweet spot on the football. Okay? I'm going to go back to balance. But sweet spot on the football. 1 inch below the middle of the football is the ultimate area to kick a football, in my opinion. You've got some guys that talk about side panels and quarter panels. I try to make it as simple as possible for high school, for these ages 14 to 21, 22-year-old kids. 1 inch below, so because we have all different footballs now, right? We've got the Nike ball, the Under Armour ball. And by the way, some of those balls are terrible. They're awful balls to kick. It's like when the designer of those footballs have never actually kicked a football before, right, Shane? That Under Armour ball might be the worst ball to kick in college football. And then when you don't get to work it in, you take 10 yards off the ball. So, 1 inch below the middle football regardless of the football, okay? Foot to ball. Once again, in the 50-plus range, we guys remember Rich Carless, remember Paul McFadden, remember the barefoot kickers, okay? Well, they kicked barefoot for a reason. They kicked barefoot because they created a callus on their bone, so on your foot. There's the bone, some guys call it the knuckle on the top of your foot, and that's why they kick barefoot. So that foot to ball has not changed. We've just put a sock and a shoe on it now. And most of your kickers will probably, let's say they're a size 9, they're going to go wear size 8 shoes, wear a very thin sock underneath because we want that bone to get as close to the football as possible. So when you take that bone and you hit it at that 1 inch below the middle of the football, that gives our maximum height, distance, and rotation to the ball. Okay? Simple, simple. We're not going to make this any harder than it is. All right, balance. Balance is so critical. And the reason I want to end kind of with balance, because balance and finish to me are the same, is we have so many different guys who finish. All right? Shane Graham was this. Shane liked getting through the ball, staying down on the ball, shoulders square, getting downfield, head and shoulders down. Okay? That was Shane, that way. Justin Tucker finishes like this. Justin Tucker watches the ball. The moment the ball is snapped, watches, looks at the whole way to the snap to there, and the moment that his ball leaves his foot, his head comes back up again. That's what works for him. At 90% accuracy in NFL history, how do you argue with it, right? It works for him. Jason Hanson, you guys remember the Detroit Lions, Jason Hanson, right? Jason Hanson finished like this. At least 4 hops, right, Jim? And right, that was how he finished. Paul Ettinger, anybody Chicago Bear fans here? Anybody? Paul Ettinger, he started like this. He literally started with his back to the, but when Paul Ettinger got here, he finished down the field. Okay, so what they all had in common is when they planted and they swung, they finished. You watch Jason Hanson, and I coached for Chicago Bears, so I got to play against him for 4 times in 2 years. And I got to study him and study him. He finished, this leg came through the ball, and he finished down the field. And this whole little deal was just his thing. Okay? So, finish down the field. And I'm going to pick on the guy from the other night because most of you watched the game. When you watch the kick from the other night, not only did it all start off with a bad plant, but his finish, this left foot never moved. Never moved. So he swung, the left foot stayed here, he swung and he finished over here. And the ball follows your hips. All right? Write that down right now. The ball follows your hips. Yes. It's no different than golf, gentlemen, ladies. The ball follows your hips all the time. If your hips are going to stay open, the ball's going to go right. If your hips are going to close too quickly, the ball's going to go left. So just like golf, just like driving a golf ball, we want to bring it up here, pendulum, and we finish at our target. Finish, finish, finish. Finish at our target. David Akers said it best. They didn't have